أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين لإيلاف قريش إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف فليعبدوا رب هذا البلد الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the heathen, nor sitteth in the seat that is scornful, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in this law does he hideth sunrise and sundown. Him a go dear like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth fat fruit in his season. Him leap never a go wither, and whatsoever him do shall prosper. Yea! The heathen them now they saw them there like a chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore the heathen them never go turn upon judgment, nor the sin among them in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord God Jah loveth the way of the righteous and the way of the sin among them. Always and always I will prosper. Let the people of the Most High God say, Joe! Kadamawe grumabe la e exact beer tanaistalina bashante shante 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 Kadamawe grumabe la e. This is the black pot. Sadakallahu Azim. Jumma Mubarak. Blessed is the man. Blessed is the man. Aw mausobo lisa. I don't know what it was a player for. This is the black pot, aka Kukushonamo, where we speak truth to power. And my name, Blakk RASTA. Now, in every traditional African home, there is a black pot, and each time this black pot sits on the fire, there is something sumptuous cooking, ingredients of so many different types, shapes, and sizes. Oh, abandon all these differences, relegating all the differences into the background and relocating into the black pot, where they are subjected to some amount of good eating, and then they produce food. Ironically, they do not even participate in the eating of the food. And I'm talking about the black pot and the ingredients. It is us, the eaters, who do. Yet every time they will rise to the occasion and produce food that they do not eat themselves for our own good. A lesson of selflessness. A lesson of generational thinking. How many people believe that once they work hard to get something, they are the only people who are supposed to be enjoying that? How many people believe that once we have it all today, let's finish it up. After all, tomorrow shall take care of itself. A nation that has no selflessness, a nation that has no sacrifice, will cease to be a nation. It will go down in oblivion. This is the black pot, aka Kukushonamo, and here we speak truth to power. And I want to say we are very excited to have you. Today we couldn't go live because of some technical challenges. We tried, but we had internet issues. So we have to get it recorded so you'll be able to watch us. In other words, we will not be able to read your messages, but certainly we'll read them later and we'll try to react to them as time goes by. We are so thankful to you. Remember to click on the notification button after subscribing to our channels, both on YouTube and, of course, on Facebook. This is the show of patriotism. We don't do politics here, no sports, no religion. It's all about patriotism. That is what we need in this nation. This is the black pot. And I want to say thank you so much to ISIT, I-S-I-T. It simply means in spirit, in truth. It's the new social media app everybody's clamoring around. What can you do with ISIT? You can go live on ISIT. You can make video and audio calls. And you can even send text messages on ISIT. Now, the difference between ISIT and the rest of them is the fact that this one is modeled by Ghanaian engineers in America and controlled by Ghanaian engineers right there in America, and is 100% positive. There are powerful algorithms that remove negative things before they even come up. Racism, violence, nudity, nakedness. No. Promote yourself. Oh, push your own brand and meet other positive-minded people. Yes, connect with family and friends and make crystal clear memories that will stand the test of time. Is it? Can be downloaded. The app is so easy to deal with. Download it from Google Play and App Store, and everything is everything. This is the Blakk Pot, aka Kuku Shonomon, and here we speak truth to power. Today we have 4 very important issues we want to deal with, and I need you to come along. Come along, my brethren. All right, so the first story we are looking at today is a special prosecutor targeted by government. Now we know the special prosecutor, don't we? We all know him. This is the man, Kisia Jabin. He's been trying to deal with corruption in the nation. It's not as fast as we thought it would have been. But at least he seemed to be doing something, and a lot of Ghanaians are happy about it. In Ghana, if you are chosen to fight corruption, it simply means that you are supposed to supervise over corruption. Make sure that people are corrupt, but you must also make sure that everybody gets their quota. As in the corrupt people have the right quota. It is not to stop corruption. Kisia Japing is trying to fight corruption. And what we are hearing is that government is targeting him. We are not surprised. Because when you fight corruption, be ready to get a big fight from corruption as well. That's a comedian who is speaking. But this time around, he is not doing comedy. He is talking serious business. This is the man, Obiam Ponsa. That's his name. Run the story, my youth. Special prosecutor is being haunted by people in government. Accountability is lost in Ghana. This is Obiam Ponsa speaking. Remember, this time around, he's not speaking as a comedian. He's speaking as a serious citizen of Ghana. It's not time for jokes. Run the story, my youth. And it says, Ghanaian stand-up comedian Obi Amponsa has lamented the menace of corruption in the country. In the midst of the economic challenges Ghanaians are struggling with, blaming it on a lack of accountability. He alleged that the special prosecutor, Kisia Jabin, who is supposed to hold culpable persons accountable, is not functioning effectively because some government officials are haunting him. The comedian expressed his disappointment in President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo for his inability to deal with corruption, as he promised that he would use the ANAS principle to combat corruption in the country. Speaking in an interview with 3FM, which Ghana Web monitored on Thursday, September 28, 2023, Obi Amponsa bemoaned why some persons who have allegedly scammed people have not been held accountable. Nobody's accountable in this country. We have people who have scammed people walking freely now. So accountability is lost even in Ghana. The people who are appointed to prosecute others are being haunted by their own people. The special prosecutor doing his job is now being haunted by people in the same government. So I think accountability is lost. He said the comedian chided President Akufo-Addo for failing to apply the ANAS method in fighting corruption and accused him of messing up ANAS's brand. In fact, the president, Akufo-Addo, actually campaigned on using the ANAS principle. Oh yes, the ANAS method. You remember he said that we use the ANAS method to fight corruption and all that. But when his party, the NPP, came into power, the ANAS whole brand is messed up. Now ANAS's face is revealed. He is not anonymous anymore. So I feel accountability is very important, said Obi Amponsa. Dash it away. Now, comedians lack jokes now. Comedians cannot even make jokes anymore because they are hungry. My brother, a man cannot laugh when he's hungry. Can you laugh when you are hungry? You can't laugh. The laughter would not even come. It's the same way the comedian cannot make jokes when he's hungry. In the days of Nana Akufo-Addo, comedy has been relegated to the background. I will not go and sit down and say I'm watching a comedian. Entertainment should come next to food. If your belly is not full, how do you want to entertain yourself? Is it possible? That is what O.B. Amponsa is talking about. The man who has been put in charge of fighting corruption has totally been relegated to the background and made to look like a comedian. Kisia Japing is trying to fight corruption, but corruption is fighting him back. He goes to the authorities to get the mandate to be able to go into some areas and fight corruption, and they frustrate him. But he keeps going on and on and on and on. My brother, my sister, remember, this is not the first time we have a special prosecutor who's been frustrated like that. We all remember the bigger one, the very first one, right? Alamisi Hamidu. He had to run out of the office of the special prosecutor in the daytime like a frog. From that time till now, we all remember when he called Nana Akufo-Addo the what? The mother serpent of corruption. Is Nana Akufo-Addo the mother serpent of corruption? This is what O.B. Amponsa is saying. He says that there's no accountability and is so disappointed in the president, who said he was going to use Anas's principle to be able to deal with corruption. But when he came, they rather gave Anas a big fight, calling him all kinds of names. And Nana Akufo-Addo couldn't come out to say that, oh, no. Somebody who said Anas was fighting corruption and he was going to use Anas's principles to fight corruption. All of a sudden, his government appointees and members of his party started fighting Anas and calling him corrupt and calling him a blackmailer. And the president sat back and just laughed. So the president is a fraud. The president has done everything he can to get into power. And now that he has his hands gripped on power, any other thing can go to hell. That is what O.B. Amponsa is saying. The Anas principle has become a useless principle. It has become a principle that Nana Akufo-Addo will never ever touch. Today they are even thinking about unveiling his face. They unveiled him and put his face on TV. Unveiled some of his lieutenants, put their faces on TV. At the end of the day, in broad daylight, we saw one of Anas's journalists shot and killed, and nothing happened in this country under the watch of Nana Akufo-Addo, who said he was going to use the Anas principle. Today, the Anas principle has been taken to the Chichinga base. They have roasted it and they are chewing it like Chichinga. My brother, my sister, if we are able to fight corruption in this country, 80% of all that is wasted, my brother, my sister, will be blocked. All the money that is lost to corruption, all the resources in Ghana lost to corruption, if we are able to even fight corruption 50%, Ghana will never ever need anything from the West as in financial help. But because we are a very corrupt people, we have no respect for patriotism. We are all just walking around and fooling ourselves that we are not corrupt. But we get to know who is corrupt when they have the temptation knocking on their door. Because you are not tempted, you think you are not corrupt. Wait until temptation pays you a visit. You are not in a position to be corrupt, so you think that you are not corrupt. Wait until you are in that position, then you get to know that corruption is real. My brother, you can say as much as you want that you are not corrupt, because in your bank account you have only 5 cedis. Wait until there's an opportunity for you to get 1,000 Ghana cedis. That is when you realize that corruption is real. Please, the way forward is that we must try as much as possible to look at the bigger picture. As corruption exists, there will never be a way that this nation will be balanced. Now, this is the Black Pot, aka Kukushonomo, where we speak truth to power. Come here and dash that story. Now, the next story I would like to look at says what? And today we're going to keep it very short. Police witch murder We're calling the police because there's the murder of a witch. And witch is in quotes. My God. Run the story. Now watch the story. And it's coming from My Joy Online. Police on manhunt for siblings said to have killed 60-year-old woman over witchcraft accusation. Run the story. Now this is scaled from the graphic. It says, the police have launched a manhunt for two siblings who allegedly killed a 60-year-old woman over witchcraft allegations at Janga in the West Mamprusi municipality in the northeast region. The town is called Janga. But if you don't know it and you are not from there, you say Janga. The deceased, Musa Azaratu Puana, was shot dead by the suspects after she was accused of witchcraft, as well as being responsible for the misfortunes in the community. The suspects have been identified as Sumani Abela and Fatah Sumani. The suspects reportedly accused the deceased of being behind the illness of their father in the community after they consulted a soothsayer. Subsequently, they stormed her house, dragged her out of her room, and shot her with a single-barrel gun in the process. Graphic Online has gathered. She was immediately rushed to the Wale Wale Municipal Hospital, but was pronounced dead by doctors on arrival. Checks by Graphic Online indicate that the Northeast Regional Police Command has since launched a manhunt for the suspects who are currently at large. Narrating the incident, the daughter of the deceased, Musa Asana, said she was in the room with her siblings on Sunday morning when the two siblings entered their house and started firing warning shots. She said that they dragged my mother out of the room and shot her after accusing her of trying to kill their father. The Northeast Regional Minister, Yidana Zakaria, has condemned the incident and called for a swift investigation to bring the perpetrators to book. He described the incident as barbaric and an affront to human rights and urged the people in the region to desist from it. Oh, Jesus. Now, I come from this community. I'm familiar with the community. I may not have lived in Janga, but I have lived in the area. I want to share a proverb with you in Dagbani. And the proverb says, Pakurgu jere, de bi viareza. Pakurgu jere, de bi viareza. In fact, if you are translating it directly, Pakurgu is an old woman. The old woman's soup, you don't lick it all to the bottom of the pot. That's what it means. But when people are translating it, they don't say old woman, they say the witch's pot. In those areas, Pakurgu has now turned into witch. The old woman is all of a sudden a witch. So your prayer is that as a woman, never ever grow old. The moment you grow old, people start tagging you a witch. That is how it is in the areas. It is a curse to grow old. And it's very, very sad, my brethren. Pakurgu jere, biviareza. In other words, be careful with the old woman's cooking pot that has soup in it. It means there's always trouble in there. But they will tell you the witch's pot of soup. Be careful. A friend of mine sent it to me yesterday. And I told him, you speak Dagbani too, right? What does Pakurgu mean? It simply means an old woman. But why is it that the translation says the witch? Because with time, Pakurgu all of a sudden has become a witch. If you have proverbs like this, my brother, every old woman there is a suspect when it comes to witchcraft. And we live in an area that is overly religious. Nobody is ever lazy. And for that matter, he's not getting a job. It must be an old woman who is a pakurugu and a witch at that same place who doesn't want them to do well. Nobody ever faces calamities without a witch being involved. So every lazy person blames it on somebody's old mother. That is why we have the witch camp in that area. The whole world, there's nowhere in the world where we have a witch camp. It's only in Ghana. And it's in that area, the same northeast. It's sad. My own grandmother, there was a time that some useless members in the family, 2 of them, called her a witch. Because her children were prospering, they were going to school and doing so well. And some idiot just came up and said, my children are not doing well because of you. You are a witch. And the old woman said, what? I'm a witch. And I didn't kill you from when you were 1 year old. Now that you are 50-something, this is the time that you have come to realize that I am a witch. Yes, you are a witch. They would always come to apologize later, after the harm has already been done. My brother, my sister, it is so terrible. The mindset, that is why we keep saying that. The mindset is very important. If she's a witch, how come she couldn't stop the bullet from killing her? If that woman that was shot, if she was a witch, so she had no power to protect herself, hers is just to destroy. You know the witches? The witches are your pastors and your prophets and your malams. They are the witches. The same people who will tell you that this person is a witch. Why don't you exorcise it? The soothsayer who said that that woman was a witch, why did you not ask him to use his power to exorcise the witchcraft? After all, witchcraft is just a power. It's not a human being, right? It's a power, a certain spirit that enters people and makes them to do evil. So if you can exorcise that, the person is free. But no, you go ahead and bam, shoot and kill the person. And the spirit is still lurking around. Your politicians are the witches and the wizards. Those who steal all our money and continue to make you suffer, they are the witches and the wizards. We live in a country where every old woman is a witch. And 99.9999% of all the time, it is the women who are blamed for witchcraft. The men are hardly wizards. Out of 5 million witches, there might only be 1 man that they will say is a wizard. And even with that, they will tell you that his witchcraft or his wizardry is a good one. But the women are those who suffer in these areas. Sometimes, I'm tempted to think that to be born in the north is a curse. Because of some of these demonic, devilish minds. A big chunk of northern people still believe that every old woman is a witch. Let not 1 man be sick in the area. And they try to take care of this person and it's not happening. They will find an old woman to brandish a witch, to brand the witch. Now, they said the father's sickness was caused by a witch, so they shot and killed the witch. You'll be shocked that this is the time the sickness would even exacerbate. It will become worse. A lot of the people in the north do not even like to go to the hospital. They prefer to be prayed for. They want soothsayers to come and give them some concoctions to drink. And when it gets worse, they blame it on somebody's old woman. It's an overly religious area. And it's about time our people in the north sat down to look at some of these issues. It's a rewiring of the mindset. Are there witches in America too? Are there witches in China? I remember a musician who is dead now made a song. Some stupid, foolish song. But now the angels are beating him up for making that song if he didn't repent before he died. He said the black man's witchcraft is to kill people. But the white man's witchcraft is to make aeroplanes. The white man's witchcraft is technology to help develop himself and to develop places. But the black man's witchcraft is to kill people. Such mentalities, such stupidity. You know the song I'm talking about? I'm not going to tell you what it is. And which artist made that stupid song? And it was a hit all over Ghana. We were all dancing to the song and then feeling that, yeah, not knowing that we were dancing ourselves back into slavery. How can you say that? Obibini anyandie or the kum nipa. Na obronidie or the year aeroplane or the year ship. Obibini die or the kum nipa. Do you have common sense? And this song will continue to be there till the end of time. Generations are coming to listen to this song. Nobody saw anything wrong with that. People would even support us. Ampa. Oh, why are dear pal? He's doing so well. He's thinking. The white man is 100% good. He doesn't have witches. He doesn't have wizards in his area. So he prospers. That's why nobody ever falls sick in the white man's land. That's why we don't have lazy people there. Everybody there is correct. But with us, our ancestors are all witches. All old women are witches. And they are responsible for our ill health. The two guys who killed the old woman. Shame on you. Your father. Oh my. He's sort of fighting the doctor to bring qualified health professionals into the area. Equip the hospitals in the northeast region and the whole of northern region better. The other day, a big city like Tamale, they didn't even have oxygen in the hospitals. People were dying. Is that not witchcraft? Or when a human being dies through the carelessness of a nurse or a doctor or the carelessness of the system. I'm talking about the government. That one is not witchcraft. Or when you drive carelessly on the road and kill people, that is not witchcraft, right? You have to set the person free and go and blame it on some old woman. The world is laughing at you. You are primitive. You are primitive. Every old woman is a witch. Where is that soothsayer who said the woman was a witch? Find him. You could have asked him to exorcise that witchcraft from the woman. You went. Shot her. May she rest in peace. We all remember how some other so-called witches were beaten to death by even pregnant women. They beat another woman to death because they said she was a witch. When I was growing up in the north, we were taught to believe that every old woman was a witch. So when we saw old women, we found a way of humiliating them. As little children even coming up. They will call you and you run away and go and tell your grandmother that, oh, a witch was calling me just because it's an old woman. How many people in the north still have that mentality? Why? Why? It's a crime to be old now. You'll be branded a witch. The witches and the wizards are your presidents and their appointees. Dash it away. May she rest in peace. When we return, my brother, my sister, we'll have more. Hey! Wayo! This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushonum, where we speak truth to power. So witchcraft is actually all over in Ghana. I don't know about Nigeria, and I don't also know about Tanzania, but in Ghana, in fact, almost every part of Ghana sees old women as witches. Every old woman. We are people in every community in Ghana, amongst the Gans, the Evers, the Ashantis, who see old women as witches, and it's worse in the northern region, where I come from. How can we fight that? The burden of knowledge. We have to educate the people. The people who believe that an old white woman can come to Ghana, no matter how old she is never a witch. But the black woman, the moment she starts getting old, she starts to attain the scholarship of witchcraft. What's wrong with your thinking? Are we cursed? What's the problem? Dash it and bring me the next story, my youth. Next story says what? Watch it. It says, Victor Osimhen, Nigeria fights racism in Italy. How many of us know Victor Osimhen? This is the player with the mask of Zorro. Do you remember? In the World Cup, I remember this mask. Very wonderful player. He's one of the world's topmost strikers. He's one of the world's best footballers. This guy here, young, agile, and very strong, Victor Osimhen. Very powerful. The mask of Zorro. He plays for Napoli in Italy. And that's the jersey he's wearing. Napoli. They say Champion d'Italia. My brother, my sister. In 1987, they were champions. 1990, champions. And then 2023, champions. That's what they are showing you. He plays for Napoli. And all of a sudden, something terrible happened. You know what happened? A penalty kick. He took it and he missed it. And his own club, Napoli, decided to tease him. And went all the way on TikTok. And put up a certain comic relief. Teasing him. And then fans all came down on him. Teasing him. And making a mockery of him. To tease somebody is different from making mockery. The club came out to say, oh, we didn't mean to mock him. We actually were teasing. The club pulled that thing off. But it had already gone viral. Napoli fans launched on this. Other fans from different clubs launched on that and decided to mock the gentleman. This can have a serious psychological effect on him. But funnily, he just played another match for Napoli where they beat the opponents by 4-1 and he scored. But before that, he pulled down everything to do with Napoli on his Instagram page. That's what he did. He pulled it down. Because the mockery was too much. Now your own club is mocking you. Then you go and post something about your own club. The mockery increases. To have his peace, he pulled down everything. But the Nigerian people have taken it serious. And they have reacted. Run it, my youth. Nigerian government engages Italian government over mockery of Victor Osimhen. Now it has become a national affair. Run it. Nigeria Sports Minister John Owan Inu has revealed that the Nigerian government, together with the Italian government, are making efforts to address Napoli's mockery directed at Victor Osimhen. Speaking on Thursday, September 28, that's only yesterday, 2023, he said the ministry prioritizes the welfare of Nigerian athletes abroad and therefore is committed to ensuring that the athletes are treated with respect. We are committed to ensuring our sportsmen and women are accorded the respect they deserve and are not exposed to any injustice, Mr. Ino said. Meanwhile, Napoli in their statement addressing the issue failed to apologize to the player and instead clarified that the video was not intended to mock Osimhen. So if it's not intended, what do you normally say? It wasn't intended to mock him, but if it created any inconvenience for him, we apologize. But pride. I'll tell you, watch. Calcio Napoli, wishing to avoid any exploitation of the issue, point out that we never wanted to offend or mock Victor Osimhen, who is a treasure of this club. As proof of that, during the summer training retreat, the club firmly rebuffed every offer that was received for the striker's transfer abroad. Hold it there. Watch me. So people came to get him. In other words, to buy him for his services. But the club said, no, we want him. The club might not have intended to embarrass the player, but the way things have gone, and they even went to pull that thing off TikTok, I think they should have apologized, right? They should have apologized. Osimhen felt very, very, very offended, and he pulled down everything Napoli. Do you think that this is a player who would want to continue playing for Napoli and be receiving this? This is not the first time we have African players and black players receiving this kind of injustice and racist attacks. We all remember how our own player from Ghana, now also playing in Italy, I believe, was shown bananas every time he came onto the pitch. We all saw that, right? Bananas. Oh, you are a monkey, gorilla, come and take this. Sometimes they will have to punch fans. Your own fans are mocking you because of racism. We saw it happen to Sule Muntari. We saw it happen to so many other African people. Why is it like that? Racism in football. Run the story. So watch where the story goes. Social media, in particular TikTok, has always used an expressive form of language with a light heart and creativity without wanting to, as in the case with Osimhen, as the protagonist, have any intention of insult or derision. In any case, if Victor perceived any offense towards him, this was not what the club intended. That's not an apology. It's an explanation. Osimhen, despite not breaking his silence on the issue, he deleted all Napoli-related posts on his Instagram. Amidst the mockery saga, he went on to score for Napoli in their 4-1 win over Udinese at home, taking his goal tally to 4 goals in 6 Serie A games. So for Victor Osimhen, I just want to say, you see the mask of Zorro that you have there? Let it inspire you to be more focused. Forget about who wants to pull you down. Let your success be your revenge. Sometimes, your ability and capability, these are the things that scare them. So they want to break you down so you cannot hit your target. Be focused. The mask of Zorro is only there for you to be able to remain focused. Now, the interesting thing is that there's a player called Sadio Mane, right? Sadio Mane. Now, Sadio Mane is a player that inspires this man here, Victor Osimhen. He inspires him so much. And Sadio Mane is a man, apart from being so experienced when it comes to football, his skills and all that, he's also a man who is involved in philanthropy. He helps poor people. For that matter, Osimhen helps a lot of poor people, especially disabled people. Both in Nigeria and in Italy and some parts of Africa. Any disabled person he sees, he supports this person. Whether you need this, you need that, you need some medication, he pays for all that. It was only last year, 2022, that he had his firstborn child, a daughter. Before then, he was actively involved in taking care of other people's children. A man like this does not deserve mockery. A man like this thinks about the future. A man like this goes to break his legs and do so well only to bring the money to save society. He doesn't deserve any mockery. Even if you were teasing and it went overboard. Apologize to him. This is the Blakk Port. This is Sadio Mane from Senegal, right? Very powerful guy. I love him. Oh, yes. Sadio Mane. Yeah. I love him. He's also involved in so much philanthropy. We spoke about him a few weeks back. He's a powerful guy. But even him, they have not spared him of racism. This is the Blakk Port, aka Kukushodomo. When we return, we have one more story to go. Hey! Wayo!
Blakk Port, Kukushodomo.
This is the Blakk Port, aka Kukushodomo, where we bring truth to power. Next story. Watch it. And it says what? It says 5 die in TARKWA mining pit. Come here. Run the story. Watch it. 5 reportedly dead in mining pit collapse at community mining site in TARKWA. My brother, does it not break your heart? 5 died. Why did they die? Watch this. Run the story. 5 persons are feared dead in a mining pit that collapsed at the Akun community mining, a mining scheme of the TARKWA community mining program. So it's legal. This is not galamsey. Bodies of the deceased have been removed and deposited at the TARKWA morgue. However, the company has assured that safety measures are being enhanced. Checks by Joy News indicate that the incident occurred on Wednesday, September 13, but may have eluded the media. A miner at the place where the incident or the accident occurred said, "We got to work, but felt the atmosphere had changed. No one could say anything, so we stayed around for a while. It was then that one of our people came to hint us of the extent of the accident that had happened underground. And right in front of us, they brought 4 boys who had died. And we thought that would be all. But unfortunately, we heard more people were involved." He further clarified that the number of people confirmed dead is more than the 5 reported by media outlets. The miner disclosed someone had sent a gang of 15 who were going to bring their load to the surface. But these people cannot be accounted for after the incident. So none of the people who had come there to bring their load and the items survived, meaning there could be more people underground. However, the general manager of the mining company refuted the claims made by the miner. He said that those involved in the accident set out to work in a prohibited area and unfortunately met their untimely death. Listen, they went to work in a prohibited area for the company. Interesting. The general manager said, "It is true that that is where we have restricted workers not to go and mine. That is where some people went illegally to work. They unfortunately mined the pillar that supports the ceiling, leading to it caving in on them. We got 4 persons who were injured. They were taken to Redeemer Hospital to be cared for. But unfortunately, 5 people also lost their lives. This is the biggest fatality since we started. The Akun community mining is a major part of the TARKWA community mining program, commissioned by President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo in 2021. According to available data, 4,887 people have been working directly in the mine since the program was launched in 2021. They died. And the company said they were not supposed to go and mine somewhere. Why did they not cordon off that area? Why did they not block off that area if there's a possibility of mining there and caving down to the whole structure? It's a thing of the mind. I am so sad. It's like telling a little child, don't go there, there's fire. And you leave the fire. Why don't you block off the fire if you cannot take it away totally? Innocent lives are gone. Now the dead cannot talk. I'm happy that some of them survived. They will come out and speak the truth. You'll be shocked that they will pay them and bribe them not to speak the truth. They will threaten them that when they speak the truth, they will not get compensation, and 2, they might not even have their health bills paid. That's the country we live in. To God be the glory. I would like to take the opportunity to also say that why is it that Ghana is not interested in owning the mines and the oil blocks? It's just a name that we discovered oil or some mineral. But it's foreigners who actually own it and give us a little percentage, which we end up selling to the same foreigners. And they do whatever they want. It's our own people they employ and put into the dangerous parts. Yet the foreigners themselves, they sit in their air-conditioned offices, drink milk, and laugh. Whilst the load of the work is done by us, and we are those who die every time. Have you heard that one Chinese man has died in the mining field before in Ghana? Indian, American, British? No, it's us every time. Because they push us into the areas that are so dangerous. They will not go there. They are the bosses. They own the mines. What kind of a curse is that? You have a blessing from the Most High. Then the blessing is given to foreigners. And our own people go in there and die. We are a people who love to own tributaries rather than the sources. To God be the glory. I appreciate you and I love you. It's been the Black Pot, a.k.a. Kukushonamo. And we apologize one more time. We couldn't come your way live. We have some internet issues, so therefore we had to record this and put it out. This is the Black Pot. Please remember to subscribe to our channel on both Facebook and YouTube. We are called Black Empire Media. Let your comments come in. We will read them and deal with them later. Until then, I see you again on Monday, same time, 5 p.m. Whoa!